Okay. If you can't tell from any of my YouTube playlists, DeviantArt...
Wow, great way to introduce myself. I don't even say my name or anything. I guess my excuse for that is because I was planning 2 other reviews to come out before this one, but they never really saw the light of day because,
Except that one.
well, there were problems. I'm planning to release those later this year.
Evil.
So you'll see those
And with Star Wars 7 coming out this December...
later this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my straw man.
It's gonna have Disney characters, song numbers, hidden Mickey's everywhere, even in the Death Star.
Whitey White Wyatt is his name. That's his full name. And, yeah, he is basically, everyone who complains about the Star Wars prequels. That's what he's supposed to be. I couldn't think of anything else for him to say except for, oops, gotta go to the store.
Anyway, Star Wars 7 is coming. So, in celebration, this year of 2015, I'm going to be reviewing all the Star Wars prequels.
And yeah, I know I didn't finish them before Episode 7 came out, but honestly, if you ask me, I think it was better that I didn't get to Revenge of the Sith before I saw Episode 7, because there were some things I learned about the prequels from watching Episode 7 that I'll put into the Revenge of the Sith review.
67% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, still working its way up to a 70. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shades, plenty of other people have already reviewed this movie. What can you say that no one else hasn't? I know one thing I can say that no one else has. I like this movie. Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's with the swords and the necklace. I think I had plans for something. I don't know. Maybe I'll expound on it sometime. But for now, I'm not sure what that was about. And I'm just going to use a lightsaber from now on, so the swords are pretty much pointless.
That's not to say that the original trilogy doesn't have its visual moments, like the battle on Hoth and the Death Star scenes. But then there are things that haven't aged well. So, without any further delay, let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it was actually going to be my catchphrase wherever I started, but I don't like it anymore.
This time, an evil group of people called the Trade Federation have blocked off all trade to a small peaceful planet called Naboo. So the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic has dispatched 2 Jedi Knights to sell the conflict. We see a starship flying towards a group of space stations that look like donuts with a bite taken out of them with the donut.
And I swear, I have never watched Plinkett's review of this movie before. I made that comparison by myself. Never seen Plinkett's review once. Cross my heart, hope to die. Never seen it.
From the outside.
I love that joke.
And here, we're introduced to our main characters, Oh, Obi-Wan then. And, who's the older guy?
You know, I'm honestly surprised that so many other people who've reviewed this movie have never mentioned that Qui-Gon's name is not mentioned until we're like an hour in. And yeah, Rey from Episode 7 suffers a bit of the same thing, but at least they said her name in the trailers. So you at least know her name then. But Qui-Gon, his name is not said in anything, so you just don't know what his name is. I just can't believe no one else has pointed this out. No, that I've seen anyway. Maybe someone else has pointed it out, maybe they haven't, I don't know.
A funny joke, and... awesomeness.
Yeah, I just love that part where they jump out of smoke and get up!
Start to make their way up. But before Liam and Obi-Wan can get in, they're interrupted by a pair of roller droids, and our heroes have to make a run for it. The 2 Jedi then see an army of battle
and then
the are clearly planning to use to invade the planet. So Liam and Obi-Wan decide to split up for no real reason. And
I don't know what's with that. I don't know how many of you can notice that, but every time it jumps back to me in the footage, it always goes black.
This is in the most subtle and realistic of clothing. showing that she's not above the rest of them. And also, she delivers lines so flat they can make a good impression for cardboard.
You'll not be so pleased when you know a last date.
Trust me, sister. No
I don't know what
one
was
is.
with that. I was
The
using
Federation
Premiere
sent
Pro
down
back
their
then, so
boot
I don't know.
plane ships to wreak havoc. We catch up with Liam, where he's running from George Lucas's opinion on the forest. Armor And this is the introduction
Oh,
of
gosh.
one of the most hated characters in film.
What happened to me? I used to be funny.
Yes, Jar Jar, accused of the ever-heinous crimes of being a racial stereotype, being made just for kids, and just being plain damn annoying. And because I know so many people hate him so much, I'm just going to ignore him unless he's necessary to the plot. So after reuniting with Obi-Wan, Jar Jar, damn it, he's already relevant to the plot.
That's one thing I've
leads
noticed.
into the
I noticed this on my own.
unembarrassing
Jar Jar really doesn't do anything aside from annoy people and move the plot along.
Visually stunning, and the score matches the scene perfectly. It doesn't add anything to the plot. So after getting caught by Mr. Whiskers here, the Jedi are taken to the leader of the Gungans, Boss Naps.
The droid army is about to attack the Naboo. We must run. We should not care about...
I should probably do a little more than just watching my video and interjecting a little bit. I started filming this in late April of 2015. No, I think it was February. I don't know. It's been a long time.
The group run into a bit of trouble with the local wildlife, but fortunately a large Leviathan ex machina arrives to save them. And Liam delivers one of the best lines ever.
And when you compare it, when you see the other two reviews that were supposed to come before this that you'll see later this year, this one is gold compared to those two. Yes, I stole that from Josh Scorcher's Hearts and Hooves Day review. I couldn't find that later card anywhere else. I don't know what that music's called. I know it's from Monty Python, but I had to use that. I had to use that just to split up the footage so I wouldn't get in trouble for copyright. Ironically, I ended up getting in copyright trouble for the credits. I've tried to learn from my mistakes since.
Large grass fields, droids marching down the street, and sea monsters. Who would want to live in such a peaceful...
That music in that part, that's from an Australian travel commercial. I just thought since the place is so dangerous and apparently it's being targeted by the Trade Federation so much, that might as well be in their travel ads too.
They take the Queen's personal starship, but they're not out of the woods yet. They still have to get past the blockade starships, which have surprisingly good aim, and hit the shield generator, which should be protected inside of the shield.
I don't know what's with the framing, why there's so much space above my head. I've tried to fix that with modern videos now, but I think I just had the camera too far away. I think that was the case, but
I'm not kidding. The whole plot
it doesn't look too bad. It's just a little distracting, all that space above my head.
It's hardly ever brought up for the next 45 minutes. We cut back to the Trade Federation, where the Viceroy tells Safes that the Queen has escaped, and that they can't go after her. The ship is out of their range. Okay, as awesome an introduction as that is, was he just staying in the back there waiting for his cue?
Yeah, I have to wonder that. Was he really just staying in the back? Alright, you just stand in the back where the thing can't see you, and then step up when I say, not for the Sith. I don't know.
Then why are you bringing Jar Jar along?
Well, obviously just to annoy the adults in the audience.
Donkey Man might attract some attention? Why are you bringing him along? So,
I mean, in the books it's said that Jar Jar wanted to go to see if he could pay off his life debt for Qui-Gon in the city, but even then. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I noticed I frequently break my thing of not talking about Jar Jar unless he's relevant to the plot. I should have said, I'll talk about him as little as possible unless he's relevant to the plot.
CG mosquito man named Watto. And we also meet a slave boy, played by Jake Lloyd. Yes, I know. Jake wasn't the best actor to pick. Haley Joel Osment might have been a better choice in my opinion. But for what we got, I think Lloyd, for the most part, did a good job, except he might have needed a better acting.
Like me. Okay, I won't do that throughout the rest of this, but...
Where have I heard that name before?
I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my...
Can't they
That was not an accident. I purposefully cut him off right there. I don't know why it's not going to be a twist after the next review,
So they leave to
but,
think what to do next.
whatever.
Go to a different dealer, perhaps?
I think I was just trying to make the point that, for anyone who had seen episode 6 before they watched episode 1, they would recognize that name.
There are kids in the audience. This CGI thing, okay, will be the...
Especially dangerous dog called Sebulba.
Shut up! Anyway, Sebulba is the semi-antagonist of this whole Tatooine scene. And by that I mean he appears in 3 scenes, then we never see him again. But Anakin saves Jar Jar's sorry butt and starts to take an interest in Liam. Is there any way I could have said that without sounding weird? A sandstorm kicks up and Anakin offers to let the group stay at his house until the storm blows over. Qui-Gon, that's his name. You'd think if your character is a main character, you'd want to give us his name as quickly as possible. Like with the original trilogy. We had Owen and Beru hammering Luke.
And then, ironically, they just kind of do the same thing with Rey. We're not giving her name until about 30 minutes in, but at least it's not as long as it took to get Qui-Gon's name, like 47 minutes into the movie last time I checked.
Not every character needs to know or be connected to each other, George! Well, how would you introduce C-3PO into the movie?
I think that's a good point actually brought up. I mean, how else were we going to introduce C-3PO? He can't just come out of nowhere. I mean, I guess he just could have been some random droid that the Lars had or something, I don't know. I just can't think of any better way to introduce him into the story to show where he came from.
Would you believe I never got that joke until about 5 years ago?
I didn't. I really didn't. I never understood that my parts are showing joke. I never got that.
Obi-Wan tells him not to reply. We then cut to Coruscant, where Sidious and Darth Maul are planning their strategy. Not for another 6 years, bud. The next couple of scenes are really long, so I'll just summarize them. At dinner,
I think this is the longest the video goes without cutting back to me. I don't know why it did that. I guess I just didn't feel there was any need to cut back to me for the next, I don't know, 5 minutes of a video or whatever. I realized just now, I never really said who Shmi is, and for those of you who don't know, Shmi is Anakin's mom. I just had to use that audio. I meant to throw in, like, Strong Bad's fist right there, like it was Strong Bad that's punching it away. The original thing was actually me. I was going to smack it away, but, I guess something changed. I didn't want to. But I really wanted to put Strong Bad's fist in, like he was punching it away, but didn't do that either, so I guess it just went away on its own. I don't know. Why not? Why not? I have to throw that in somewhere, don't I? No, I don't.
All droids, go find the Queen or the Jedi. So the day of the big race arrives. While they're waiting, Watto and Qui-Gon make a bet. If Anakin wins, Watto will release him. If Anakin loses, Watto gets Annie's pod. So now it's finally time for the race. Tensions are high. The stakes even higher.
I love this build-up that I did for this joke.
Planet is on the shoulders of one kid.
Even playing the pod race music in the back.
No chance of he's going to win. The movie would be over if he doesn't. And this race scene is at least 15 minutes long, not counting all the build-up. And I can summarize it in 2 seconds. I would love to comment on this race. Really, I would. But it's a really long scene and extremely hard to comment.
I really didn't know how else to comment on unless I wanted to play the part of like a racer commentator. But they already have a character in for that.
Bite you in the butt in a couple of books, pal.
I wish
And,
those books weren't non-canon anymore.
Stop!
That was actually ad-libbed. That was not in the script. I actually thought that up on the fly. I didn't think it up like a couple days before I started recording, but I was watching the movie again. And I thought,
As it turns out,
you know, I could throw that in. That might be a funny joke. But it was not in the script. It was pretty much made up on the fly.
While on their way back, one of Darth Maul's ball droids apparently spotted the ship and tells them where they are. So Darth Maul goes off to find them. Anakin and Qui-Gon are almost to the ship, but are encountered by Darth Maul. And we get a brief but awesome fight between
I don't know what's with
Qui-Gon and
the
Darth
way
Maul.
I say awesome
Qui-Gon
throughout this
gets
whole
away,
thing.
ending the fight early. And now we can get back to the main.
I really don't. I just say it so
They arrive on
awkwardly.
Coruscant and meet with Chancellor Valorum, played by Terrence Stamp.
Kneel before Zod!
And boy, is the rest of this whole scene on Coruscant boring. No epic fight, no chase scenes. After they arrive, there's not even anything pretty to look
And then we
at.
have people complaining about Episode 7 not having any politics. Any slow scenes, any whatever. I mean, make up your mind, people. Originally the line was going to be complaining about young puppet Yoda, because a lot of people complain about that, but the copy I got totally legally online only had the CG one, so I just went with the CG one.
I said moving on!
Anyway, the Queen goes to Congress to ask for help, but the current Chancellor is useless, so he's basically Obama then.
Hey, have to take a pot shot while he's still in office somehow.
Confidence in Valorum, thus being a new Chancellor must be voted in. And that's me summarizing. This scene goes on for too long and it...
Someone pointed out to me in the comments that the scene is actually like 3 minutes long, but for me it feels like it's at least 10 minutes long. Because it's not that interesting.
Back with the Queen, Jar Jar is also worried about his people. But he has confidence in them too. I wonder if that will add up to anything later. The Queen then decides she's going back to Naboo to help. Back with the Jedi, is it me or does it feel like this whole scene has ADHD?
I really don't understand what's with the prequels. They keep just jumping around from thing to thing to thing. But, at least they do it slightly less in the next 2 movies, but they still do it.
And we won't send you with any backup at all, even though we know there's a Dark Warrior who's after you. After an exposition dump on what midichlorians
That's just basically what they say. Well, we could send some other Jedi to back you up, but, nope. Good luck, have fun.
On their way, the Queen says she needs Jar Jar's help.
Yes. I need your help.
We're screwed. After some filler where Jar Jar returns home but finds no
There was
one
actually
there,
supposed to be a scene where Jar Jar actually went to Otogunga, and he finds the state completely empty. I think I read there were even supposed to be a couple of bodies around on the floor. That honestly,
Actually, no, it's not.
I
It's
would like to have seen that scene. It probably would have been a bit emotional. Made us feel a little bit sorry for Jar Jar for once. I don't know.
Well, his happy pills just kicked in. So an alliance is formed to save their home planet. They make a plan to use the Gungans to take the droid army away from the capital, while a small team will go to try to take the Viceroy. And a group of pilots will go out to the control ship to take it out. And this is where the movie really picks up. Right at about this scene, I always get excited.
Yeah, why is it with so many movies that are either okay or just kind of bad, it's like the last half hour where it actually starts to get good. Like, I recently watched Twilight. The last 30 minutes are not good, but it's probably the best part of the movie because things are actually happening. I think I want to review Twilight. I know Ilnej already did like years ago, but I think I want to do it myself. What is he filing his fingers with? An invisible file? I actually meant to grab a file, but I couldn't find one, so I was like, yeah, I'll just go like this. People won't notice, right?
And takes him to where the space fight is. Back with the Jedi, where, and to Obi-Wan, I leave a boot to the head. But Qui-Gon is able to hold his own for now. But unfortunately, the dynamic duo gets separated by these laser door things. Things aren't any better on anyone else's part. The Gungan army lose their shield and have to make a run for it. And then they get captured. Padme and her team are captured too, and Anakin gets stuck inside the control ship with no power. Back to the Jedi. Obi-Wan is ready to fight, but gets stuck again. But once that laser door opens, they'll be able to team up again and take this guy down. Thanks a lot, Lucas, for killing one of my favorite characters.
I wish I had explained why I like Qui-Gon so much, because in the movie alone, there's really not much to him aside from he's just kind of kindly. But why I really love Qui-Gon so much is because of the books. Because of the books that are telling the story of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. There's a lot of development for Qui-Gon in those books. Oh yeah, the text. You know, I think if I just left that out, nothing will have happened.
Their fight is so over choreographed. It looks like they're dancing.
And I've tried to resist doing that ever since. Oh, this part. I worked so hard on this part. Notice my amazing $5 green screen.
That's besides the point.
I really need to iron that thing before I use it next time.
Really? Objection!
I don't know. I'd like to do another thing like this sometime. Huh, why did the judge get so big all of a sudden? I was just tired. I just wanted to get it over with, so I didn't care about the size change. But yeah, I'd like to do another thing like this where we're in the Phoenix Wright courtroom. I'd just like to do that again sometime.
Take a look at these practitioners of a Filipino martial art known as arms. Notice the dance-like movements?
Oh my, it does look like a
The reason I know that is because I used to do that martial art myself. I'd like to get back into it sometime.
And as much as I hate that movie, what does Reaper
Oh, we'll be
Dawn
getting to that one eventually. I really don't know what happened with that footage, just something happened where the audio was gone. I really need to get like a really good DVD ripper. And just like that, he's gone. Until he somehow reappears in the Attack of the Clones review. Where he gets killed by Vader somehow, and he'll reappear again the next time. I threw that in because I didn't know how else to end that segment. I was like, well, might as well just make a joke at myself. What was that? Because it came right out of nowhere, and it went nowhere. Except it got real Wyatt. I really meant to add a glowing blade to that, but I don't know how to use After Effects.
accidentally hits the main reactor? Okay.
Maybe I just could have used like an image from one of the movies and just have it track over the plastic blade. I don't know. I just thought it looked good enough. Like I say, when I got to this point, I was just so tired with editing. I just wanted to just get it over with as soon as possible.
Obi-Wan, where he uses wire work and the Force to grab Qui-Gon's lightsaber and make Maul feel like half the man he used to be.
Sorry, Ventress, I had to steal your joke.
The hell? Ow! But don't worry, kids. Darth Maul will return in Star Wars The Clone Wars in about 13 years. But unfortunately, it's too late. Qui-Gon is beyond help. And with his last wish being for Obi-Wan to train Anakin, dies. So now it seems like everything is okay. The Seppy's defeated, and Palpatine, that guy from before...
I realized that I never really introduced Palpatine before, because he wasn't really that important before.
Yeah, police? I'd like to report a possible creeper. Obi-Wan and Yoda have a private meeting about Anakin's destiny.
Grave danger, I fear, in his training.
Oh, come
Oh
on.
boy, here it
He's a
comes.
kid. What's the worst he could do?
The red lightsaber footage, yeah. There's this guy called Marcelo Zuniga, I'm subscribed to him, and he usually uploads Star Wars clips.
Well,
I thought that would have been one of the clips for sure he would have had, but he didn't. I didn't know how to get footage off a DVD, so I just looked around. That was the only one I found. I didn't watch through the footage. In case you couldn't tell, I didn't watch through it the first time. I didn't notice that there was a red lightsaber. So it just ended up being like that.
Disney owns the rights to Star Wars. This is officially their second most awkward transition since the death of Bambi's mom.
The first being Angels in the End Zone.
Too bad there's no peace among the fans. I can understand a few bits and pieces as to why people hate this movie, but come on, people, it's not the worst movie ever. I've looked at several professional worst movie lists, one of which was
Yeah, let's not.
of the prequels were even
Since they
close to
put
being on the list.
Spider-Man 3 and Aragon on that list, let's not use that as a valid source of information from now on, shall we? That clip, that scene, that took me so long to get through. I kept flubbing up the titles. I kept forgetting the order I was saying them in. I kept forgetting everything. It took me so long to get through it.
Or even a lot. The scenery in this movie looks absolutely stunning. We never really got to see such expansive worlds in the original trilogy. But here, we get to see such expansive backgrounds that only a game like Zelda...
I meant to use actual gameplay footage, but I couldn't find any of just around the waterfall, and it would have taken too long to
So many scenes are so appropriately punctuated with
find something that I was looking for.
Punctuated with sad music. Exciting scenes are punctuated with exciting music, and boring scenes are punctuated with no music. I mean, without the soundtrack, nothing in this movie would be remotely interesting.
And that's just kind of the way the prequels work. The music is definitely one of the best things about them.
I mean, let's take this.
I mean, I like the soundtrack for Episode 7, but I only find a few things to be really truly... I only find a few scores to be really truly memorable from it when compared to the prequel music.
I highly recommend you give the soundtrack a try. Yeah, the story of this movie is a little bit...
I meant to throw in a Mindy clip from Animaniacs right there. Qui-Gon says, "We've got to warn the Naboo," and then Mindy, "Why?" But I couldn't find that, and like I say, just tired.
It's not for everyone, but I say, if you haven't seen it yet, give it a watch and see what you think. I'm the Shea Reviewer, and please, Disney let Star Wars be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I've heard it will be. And again, who knows if it ever even comes out. And yeah, the like minute-long end credits, jeez. But yeah, this video has a few problems, but you know, like I say, compared to the two that will be coming out later, my first two actual reviews, this one is golden. But you know, watching it again, I think it actually holds up quite a bit still today. Like, a lot of the jokes are still pretty good. Yeah. Weird Al's company still has the monetary claim on this. I blame myself. I have no one to blame but myself. If I just didn't think it would do this song justice to just play a little bit of it. I've learned from my mistakes since. But, they won't listen to me, so what's the point in trying? Anyway, I still think it holds up pretty well. And it's over.